Hey folks, welcome to the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel, welcome to the floor, and welcome to the most advanced robot vacuum I have ever played with. Now you're probably asking yourself, why is there a turd on top? And we're going to tell you about that in just a second. Now this is the Roborock S7 MaxV, and it's got a lot of features we haven't seen on any other robot vacuum. Now, we'll go over some of the features later in the video, but the biggest thing is it has cameras on the front, and the cameras give it artificial intelligence. It has LiDAR for mapping, but the cameras actually see what it's about to run over. So in theory, if it's about to run over a turd, it'll miss it. And if you've trolled around Reddit at all, you've seen those threads of people who have had their robot vacuums paint their whole house with dog poop. So we're gonna set up an obstacle course with some poop, and all the other things that robot vacuums normally suck up, and we're going to see how well the artificial intelligence works. Then I'll show you some of the other features as well. But let's set up an obstacle course. Now I couldn't get my cat to poop all over the house for me for this video, so I made a turd stand-in. So we're going to put one right here in the kitchen, and there's a lot of different shapes of turds, so we're going to call this the turd toboggan. Then out here in the dining room, let's put another one, and this one's going to be a little bit different of a shape. We have a little multi-part there, so we'll call that the butt dumpling. Then over here by the cat treat bowl, we are going to put something more along the lines of the emoji style turd. We're going to call that the poo pyramid. We'll put that right there. And our final one we're going to put down in our darker hallway, and we're going to do that because this thing does need cameras to see. So we're going to see how well the headlights work, and we're going to use this one. It's a smaller one, maybe you have a smaller pen. We're going to call this the dainty dump. Now, turds are funny, but we also have to see how well this thing vacuums, so I'm going to be a toddler here for a second and get some cereal. And see how well it vacuums up some cereal. With all of my other robot vacuums, we would clean up all the cords, but this thing should be able to avoid them, so we'll call this cord corner. Now coming into our office, let's throw some socks on the ground. And because this thing does have a mopping attachment, let's get some milk on the floor, because that is usually pretty hard to clean up. Since we're the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel and I fix almost everything with zip ties, let's throw a bundle of zip ties on the floor. And then, just for fun, we're gonna throw shoes pretty much everywhere. And now what we're gonna do is jump into the app and start it going.
Starting to clean.
So this is its process when it's preparing to clean. The first thing it does is it actually backs up into the station. So it turns itself around, backs up, and it washes the mop pad underneath. And you'll actually hear a little water pump kick on right there. And then a brush will go back and forth and clean the mop. This cleans the mop, but it also wets the mop, so the mop is completely wet as it runs around the floor. So it's just backed off the station and it has cleaned itself up, cleaned off that mop, and now it's starting the cleaning process. So we'll see how well it does with our little obstacle course we set up. All right, so it's getting close to the shoe obstacle, the cat treat bowl, and the turd. So we're gonna see what it does in this area here. And what's interesting, so far it's been avoiding the turd, but if you go into the app here, you can actually see, it sees the turd and it actually shows a little poop emoji, so it's identified that there's something there. Here it's avoiding the shoe, and it actually marked the shoe on the map as well, and you can actually see there's a little picture of the shoe that it took as well. So at this point we are now going to be approaching soon the next turd obstacle. So it's now back in the corner investigating one of my older robots, but it's also coming up on the zip ties. And you can see the light's a little lower over here, so the headlight has come on. Now it kind of nudged the zip ties, but it does look like it's going around them pretty well. Trying to avoid them. It looks like it caught the edge of them though. So now we're approaching one of the other shoes, and it looks like it has spotted, at least spotted the obstacle. And if we go into the map, it'll show us that we have a shoe now in the way. And speaking of obstacle avoidance, underneath our dining room table is about a gazillion chair and table legs. And this thing does a really good job kind of getting between them. And you can also see that on the map. So now we're coming into the area where we had spilled the milk before, and I wanted to point out that the mop on this thing has a couple features that do not exist on any other robot vacuum I've played with. Now, the mop on this actually vibrates, so as it goes over a surface, it vibrates and scrubs the surface, but on every other robot vacuum I've had that's got a mop attachment, you have to put the mop attachment on, and then it mops your floors. You have to remove it for it to vacuum your floors. This one, the actual mop attachment rises up when it hits carpet and then drops back down on this. So all you have to do is start the thing going and it'll do all your floors, the hardwood and the high pile carpet. Now, if I had one criticism of this thing, it's that I don't think the mop head actually rises high enough for very thick carpet, so the mop will still touch your carpet if you've got a thick pile carpet. So at this point, we've moved on to the kitchen. So in this room, we have our largest turd and we've also got cereal. So we're gonna see how it does in here, picking up the cereal and also with our big old turd friend over there. So it looks like it has identified the little obstacle there. And if we go into the app, we should actually be able to see that it's found that and it's actually marked it on the map so it doesn't run it over. Now, it just finished the kitchen, and before proceeding to the hallway and the back bedrooms, it's actually heading back to the base station, and it's doing this to actually wash off the mop, which is what it started with, but it does it again, and you'll see here it's gonna back itself up onto the base station in just a second. Before it backs in there, I'm gonna show you this cleaning attachment there. That's what actually does the cleaning, and actually it physically scrubs the mop clean. So what's great about this process, it actually takes clean water out of that hopper, and it sprays it on that mop head, and it also refills the water hopper in that. Then, after it sprays off the mop head in there, it sucks the dirty water back up into that compartment there. That's that sound you're hearing right there. And I'll show you the gross stuff that comes off my floor at the end of the video. Now, you can actually get this robot alone with just a charging base or with that complete base station. So if you don't need the whole base station, you just want the robot, you can get just that. And I'll have the link for both the robot and the base station down below if you want to check those out. So now that it's done washing the mop, it's going to take off and continue cleaning the rest of the house. So now we're going to proceed past one turd, the second turd, and we're gonna go down that dark hallway we were talking about. We should see the headlight pop on in just a second. And it looks like right here, because it's doing its little dance, it looks like it has identified yet another turd and is avoiding it. So there it's identifying another obstacle, and we'll be able to see that one on the map as well. And avoiding one more of the shoe traps that we put out for it. Now, if you notice there, when it transitioned onto carpet, it got louder, and that's because it knows when it's on carpet. It picks up the mop like we had mentioned before, but it also spools up the vacuum, because now it's got to suck all that dirt up out of the carpet. In this room, don't forget, we've got some good old dirty socks. We'll see what it does with these. So right now it's getting in all around them. Squeezed right by him, didn't get him, but we'll see what happens on the next pass. There it goes, very carefully avoiding, running over the socks, and we can now go into the app again and see that it has identified the socks as yet another obstacle that it has to avoid. So the washing machine will eat my socks, but my vacuum will not. We're now coming into our last obstacle, cord corner. We're gonna see if it recognizes those cords, because there's nothing worse than having your expensive iPhone cords sucked up and destroyed by a robot vacuum. And it does look like it has gotten snagged up in all the cords. So I think we're gonna have to go rescue it before it wrecks my stuff. Now when it completes its cycle, it does back itself back into that station again. It cleans everything, but it also sucks out the dustbin, leaving it ready to go for the next time you need to vacuum your house.
Starting to wash the mop.
So now with the mop clean, it turns itself around, pulls itself back into the dock, and it actually sucks all the dirt out of the dustbin. And this is probably the noisiest part of the whole operation.
Empty dustbin.
This part can be pretty loud. And as promised, here is the grossness. That came off my floor. And now it's all set and it's ready for the next cleaning. Now, is this thing perfect? Nothing's perfect. We saw it had a little bit of trouble with the cords, but the AI works really well. And I do trust this thing to clean my house. And what I really like about it is if we're out on vacation or we're camping, I can fire it up before I get home. It sucks up all the cat hair and the house is nice and clean. This also is a lot more convenient than a lot of the other ones I've used because you don't have to take the mop head on and off each time you want to mop or vacuum your house. Now, if this video helped you out at all, please go down, give me a great big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I've got all sorts of tech reviews, DIY stuff, how-tos, and all sorts of stuff like that coming your way. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you'd like me to test. And of course, thanks for watching.